Hello friends and welcome to another Make It Monday Facebook Live. Let me refresh my page, make sure we're up and running and actually on screen, and ask you to please say hello, whether you're watching live or the replay. It's always nice to know who's here with me. I am Jamie Sales, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you tonight with a couple projects with the Humble Home stamp set. So I'll have that for you in just a second. But first I wanted to remind you that coming up on the calendar, my next stamp camp is next week, Tuesday, September 24th, here at my house. I'm asking if you're going to attend that stamp camp that you please RSVP sooner rather than later, because the end of my month is crazy busy and I would love to get some of those kits planned ahead of time or prepared ahead of time. Also, coming up, my next class at the Hotspot Cafe in LaPorte is on October 15th. Had to turn around and check. Register through the cafe for that one. We're going to do 3 fall themed cards at that session. I believe that's all I've got coming up on the calendar in the next little bit. So we're ready to just dive right in tonight. Let me turn the camera down. We will give away last week's card. Last week I worked with I don't remember the name of the stamp set. I think it was called Sweet Peas, and we made this pinwheel card last week. Hi Judy and Donna and Peggy. Thanks y'all for being here. The pinwheel card, let's turn the camera down. I will show you how that opens up, and we'll give that away and then get going on the next project. So bear with me while we adjust the camera. I'm going to rotate so you're not upside down. Here comes the spin. And let's get you where we want you. Right, let's see, here. Okay, that is my host code for this month. If you'd like to place an order and use that code, that helps me earn some free things that I can then give away. And here's that pinwheel card, which it opens. I didn't do the inside, but it opens like a normal card. But also, this is the part I was calling a pinwheel. And if you just hold any 2 of these flaps and pull, you've got that fun little design on the inside. So normally, I give away last week's card to someone who tells me that they shared the video, because sharing gets my name out there to new people. But all of your likes and comments help with that Facebook algorithm. So I wrote down everyone who commented last week. So we're going to roll and give the card away to number 2, Janine. Thanks so much for participating, all of you. I had a new viewer, Yolanda Rutledge, watched for the first time that I'm aware of last week. So it's always exciting to have new people. That's why I ask you to chime in, say hello. Okay, tonight I'm going to work with the Humble Home stamp set. This is in the new mini catalog that just became available at the beginning of the month. We worked with this card at the stamp camp that I just had Saturday, and I kind of challenged people. We did a little, we did 2 totally different houses. It was more of a challenge than I expected it to be. So I wanted to show you how easy it can be to work with this stamp set. There is a coordinating punch that you can use, and I'll show you that as we get going. I'm also on the first card. I've got 2 cards I'm going to show you. One is mostly prepared ahead, and we'll do that one quickly after I show you the first one. But for the first card, I'm going to use a little designer series paper. This is from the Take a Bow or Take a Bow paper pack. Might be Take a Bow because it comes with or it coordinates with a punch that you can use to create your own paper bows. But this one has 4 different sheets. So here's one side, and here's the flip side. I'm going to use this candy stripe paper in this first card. And this is a card that I designed for a demonstrator event that I'm going to attend this weekend with a couple of the ladies that are on my Stampin' Up! Team. Sorry, I'm looking for all my stuff. I have it sitting here, where somewhere. At this demonstrator event that we're going to, one of the activities is, sorry, I'm really confused about where all my stuff is. One of the activities is for each person to design a card and bring all the supplies, and then everyone's going to make that card. So this first card I'm going to show you is what I'm taking. I found my box, so I'm pulling out all my stuff. Okay, so I've got a layer of, my card base is real red, which we are going to fold in half at 4 1/4. So it was 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Folded at 4 1/4. I've got a layer of pecan pie that we'll add in right here. Normally my card layers are 1/4 inch different. So very likely this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I say very likely because sometimes I make it just a 1/16 of an inch bigger or smaller if I want a narrower or wider border. So there's that. Oh, I just found all my supplies I was looking for. And then I have a layer of basic white. Hi, Kim. And notice the fancy little border I have down here. I did that with one of the Everyday Detail dies. And here is that set. I used this one to cut that border, but we've got some rectangles, we've got some circles, and then we've got a couple other just trim pieces. What this will do, if wherever you set it on your paper, this one just cuts those little holes into it. So you've got the little hole design. Got 2 of those. I used this zigzaggy one. And what I did was set it at the bottom of my paper. Let me get some stuff out of the way so it's not so distracting. And I took the points on the bottom of this all the way to the bottom of the card layer. Or you can come up a little, just use the bottom edge as your reference so that you get those points equal distance from the bottom. That's how you know that it's straight. And then left to right, I wanted it centered up, so I put the places where it kind of X's together, the center of the X on the corners there. Run that through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it cuts that cool pattern. So I've done that for my card layers. So this is what I'm going to start with. And I said we were working with a humble home, which we are, but I also pulled in a couple little pieces from the All About Autumn set. I'm sorry, More Than Autumn set. I wanted to use this little candy cane and this little gingerbread man. So I pulled those out of this set. And I'm going to start with the candy cane, and I'm going to stamp that in real red. And I'm going to use this as my guide for where I'm going to stamp all of these little tiny images. So if I ink up my candy cane, I'm going to center this one right between these two diamonds. So we got a candy cane there. I'm going to skip one and put another one over here. Same thing on the other side. Okay. And then my little gingerbread man is going to go in those two spots. So I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso ink, which is our darkest brown ink. And I'm actually going to color those in with one of our Stampin' blends. Now, normally when I color with a Stampin' blend, I stamp in Memento Black. But I'm finding that our colored, I was worried that the colored ink would bleed. I'm finding that it works better than I expected. So I'm taking a light pecan pie and just giving it a quick coat. I'm not doing any blending. I'm just doing a basic coloring. And it works. The ink holds. Memento is a water-based ink, and so are our classic ink pads. And I think that's the key. You don't want a solvent ink with the alcohol markers. So there we go. There's my little gingerbread men. And now I have a 1-inch wide strip of that candy cane stripe paper that I'm going to mount on a piece of real red. So this is 3 3/4 by 1 inch. My red is 3 3/4 by 1 3/16 inches. Remember I said I normally do 1/4 inch borders, but I wanted these to be a little narrower than that. So that's where I got the 3/16 inches. So we'll just line that up so the ends are even. And then this stripe is going to go just above those stamps. So we'll do that. I was scrolling down to see if Donna was here, and she did say hello. She's seen this card. She's someone that's going with me to this demonstrator event, but hopefully you didn't want too much of a surprise, Donna, because here it is. This is what we're doing. This one's kind of quick and easy because that was requested. Because we're going to be making a lot of cards, they requested that they be quick and easy. So let's see. I think we can go ahead. I've got more to do to this, but I think we can go ahead and get it layered on the card base. So with this dotted edge, those are actually holes. So I'm just coming in and putting a dot of glue between each of those holes to hold down the bottom edge, and the same thing above them. You don't want your liquid glue to ooze out between the holes, so small dots. The glue's very strong, so it'll hold really well. And I love how the color underneath comes through those holes. I think that's just a lot of extra that's really easily added. Hi, Joyce. You crack me up, Donna. At least you'd already seen the card, so it wasn't really any surprise. Okay. Here is a step beyond what we're going to do with the demo event. So I'm going to stamp this one house in this set. Let me show you. This one screams gingerbread house to me. So that's why I pulled out the gingerbread men and the candy canes, and we're going to stamp this house. I'm stamping it on pecan pie paper. And I could stamp it in white ink. Well, we could stamp it in any color ink, right? So here's one that I've done with early espresso ink. And where's another one? Okay, this is a different color cardstock. This is a lighter brown cardstock. This one I just stamped in white ink, which is what we're going to do with that event to make it quicker. But I thought, how great would that look with embossing powder? So that's what I'm going to do tonight. So I'm going to bring in my embossing buddy, which is part of our embossing kit. And you just give it a little tap and rub it around. And what that does is just takes the static off the paper, or doesn't allow the paper to have much static, so that my powder won't stick where I don't want it to. So if you want to emboss, you can use a Versamark ink pad, but this is our white ink pad, so this is actually white ink. But it's a craft ink. It's not that water-based ink. It's a pigment ink. So it stays wet longer, and embossing powder will stick to that. So there's my house. And like I said, you could just leave it like that, or let's add some embossing powder. So I'm just going to put a scrap of paper under me to catch some of the extra powder. And because I stamped in white ink, I could use clear powder, but this is white powder, just to make the white stand out that much more. We'll just dump that back in there, okay? And then whatever didn't make it into my cup, I just pour back in that way. So it takes very little powder. Now we have to heat set this. So I'm going to warm up my heat tool here for a second. We'll heat it up. You'll be able to watch that powder kind of melt and turn glossy. And then we'll punch it out and be ready to go. Let's see if it's hot enough. I think that the embossing powder is really going to make it look even more frosting-like, which is the look you want with the gingerbread house, right? And the white will just be that much bolder than it is with the ink pad only. Okay. So here's my house, and here's our punch. And if you're not aware, our punches come with a lock mechanism here. So it lays very flat. It's easy to stack them for storage. But when you want to open it, you simply slide that up, and it opens up like this. Here's the slot I'm going to slide my paper through. So slide this in. Center it up. And give it a squeeze. And it pops out the house, a little square, which could be used for a window, and a little heart, which you could use to decorate in a number of different ways. But we're just going with the house tonight for this project. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of it. One, two, and one on the roof. And my house is gonna go over here-ish. Okay. I'm gonna add another little gingerbread man down here next to the house. Same way I did before. Early espresso ink. Kind of, sorry, I need to move it down so I can center it up. The way the camera sits, it just makes it so hard to center things. So there's my Last little gingerbread man. I'm going to stamp a sentiment right here. The set comes with a Merry Christmas, which is perfect for this card. So we'll add that at the top. Color that last little gingerbread man, and then show you the great embellishments. I will confess I wasn't super excited about a lot of things in the new mini catalog, but these embellishments are the exception. I was super crazy about these fun peppermints. Come in 3 different sizes. And going to add one here and one here. The gingerbread man is a little lower than I would have liked him, but it still works. These little peppermints are made out of, well, I can't say for sure, but they feel like, if you actually touch them, they feel like polymer clay. Remember several years ago, people were making some really cool different things with polymer clay. That's what that feels like to me. And then we've got some red and white baker's twine. So I'm going to kind of pull off a length of that and double it up. I'm going to make a little double bow. So I'm going to work with 2 pieces at a time and just tie a little bow. The baker's twine is, it's very thin, so I feel like a single bow is, well, for a double bowl is a little bolder, so it's easier to see, and in all honesty, it's really hard to affix that teeny tiny little knot. With a single bow. So tying a double bow gives me a bigger knot. It's going to be easier to stick on with a glue dot. Thanks, Judy. This is one of the first sets that drew me in the new catalog, and you weren't here at Stamp Camp, but we used this for one of the cards, and I posted what everyone made, so you can go back and look at that. But I've been playing with it a lot, and it's really quite versatile, I think. Okay, so I'm like squeezing together that glue dot here at the end of my Take Your Pick tool, because even though they're mini glue dots, they're bigger than a knot on a twine bow. So I just kind of squinched it up to make it smaller, and we'll add a little bow here in the corner. And there's my card front. Thanks, Emily. Okay, on the inside, what I did on the inside here is, okay, let me show you here the fronts. This is the one that I made for the demo event that is supposed to be quicker to create. So I just used the white ink. Look at what the difference is with the embossing powder. Makes quite a difference. But for the inside, I used another piece of that die cut, little gingerbread, and From Our House to Yours is another of the stamps in the Humble Home stamp set. So there is that one. And I've got another one mostly done, so we can knock it out real quick. But I wanted to show you that sometime, sorry, I'm looking again, looking for my stuff. The houses could be stamped on any color paper, obviously, and punched out, right? But you could also color them in. So, sorry, I was scrambling looking for a piece of Very Vanilla. So let me just quickly show that, and then the rest of this card is done. I just need to assemble. So again, I'm stamping this time in Early Espresso ink on Very Vanilla cardstock. And I'm going to color with blends. So I could have used Memento Black, which is what I've always done in the past. And I think I might change my tune on that now that I've found that the blends work with the colored ink. And you know, not saying a problem can't arise with this bleeding, but I haven't just encountered that yet. So far I'm loving it. So I did the inside of the windows with Light Lemon Lolly. I'm going to color the house with Light Crumb Cake. And I'm skipping those little scallop things. I'm going to leave those vanilla, because to me that's the frosting part. So we'll just come around the little scallops. But if you were just making this, you know, I think this set is perfect, like I said, for so many different, it's way more than Christmas. I feel like there's a thank you sentiment in this set, so it could be a great thank you card, a card for a neighbor, thank you for the hospitality, congratulations on your new house, a welcome home, so many different things. One of the ideas I shared with someone at Stamp Camp Saturday was I did a card with like a rainbow of different houses. And then I got the idea and I shared with whoever that was that, you know, I can imagine a row of houses in pastel colors or different shades of pink or different shades of blue for a welcome baby card. So the house itself was Light Crumb Cake, and then I'm just going to hit the roof line and the top of the chimney and the door with pecan pie. And I wasn't sure how that design, the little heart and the little dots around the house, I wasn't sure how that would show up with the ink over it, but it works. Shows just fine. Okay, so there, oh, and the chimney. I missed the chimney. So I was going again for another gingerbready house kind of look, but hopefully that gives you an idea of how coloring gives you lots of options. You could make the house match the recipient or your house or whatever. All those colors give you those capabilities. Okay, I'm going to make this one Christmassy again. So I've got a piece of crumb cake, 4 1/4 by 11, because it's going to be a horizontal card. I'm going to layer a piece of real red, 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of designer series paper from a newly released paper pack. Came out in September. I think it came out the same day as the new catalog, but from our new scrapbooking line. Yes, like exactly, Emily, like San Francisco, or I thought of Charleston too, with the different houses, or if you're local to Northwest Indiana, the beach walk houses. Yeah. Thanks, Judy and Joyce. I just saw your comments about the embossing. But this paper the colors of this I thought were very gingerbready also. So I picked this, and this, like I said, came from one of the new scrapbooking packs, or a pack that was in the scrapbooking brochure. It comes 12 by 12. There are just 3 different sheets, or 3 different prints. I love these forest animals. That's what drew me to this pack. And then there's our brown. And then the flip side we got some greens, browns with deep brown with triangles. That kind of is reminiscent to me of trees. And then obviously some trees. So because there are only 3 different prints, there's still 12 sheets in a pack. So that gives you 4 pieces of each print. Okay, here's my card base. Here's the layer I'm working on. We're going to add the house to, this is a circle of real red that I cut out with one of the dies from that Everyday Details die set. The same one that had that zigzaggy trim piece. Now I've lost, oh, here they are, my full-size dimensionals. I don't know if I want to pop up the house on the circle or pop up the whole circle. I'm going to pop up the house. So the circle that I chose in this house has it so that the house kind of overlaps some of those holes, but I'm okay with that. And then another die in that same die set, Everyday Details. The smallest circle just has that little stitching around the edge. So I stamped the Merry Christmas on there. And then I stamped and colored and cut out 3 more little gingerbread men. I did do 3, although right now I'm only finding 2. Okay, and here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do a circle here and a circle here like that. But I wanted to bring in some ribbon across the bottom. And I don't have any red ribbon. There may be some in the catalog that I didn't buy, but I have this, which is satin and sheer ribbon, and this is shaded spruce. And I like that you've got that satiny center and then the kind of the meshy outside. So that's going to go across, I think, right there, just to bring some more color onto the dark brown. So we'll flip that over, add a little tear and tape to the back. And this is a very simple layout, but I think it's going to make a cute card. And I feel like simple layouts are good to have, you know, in your repertoire, because it's nice to just whip something together, and especially something like this that's a very universal layout. You could do this layout, I think, with any... Checking to see if it looks straight. The lines on this paper are not straight, so when I look at my ribbon, it's tricking my eyes and kind of making me second guess whether the ribbon's straight, but I think it is. But the layout can be used with any kinds of paper, any kinds of stamp designs, any sentiments. The layout works. So let's get this on here. And then, like I said, we're going to do this and that. Trying to work quick now because I don't know. That's just me. I hate to make you wait. too long. You guys are always great sports about it, but it's just me. It's one of my little hang-ups. But when I get going too fast, then I start to make mistakes. So I'm trying to reel myself in a little. See? Like I just said. Oh my gosh. I had to prove myself right, didn't I? Okay, so that's going to go there. And I wish I had my other little gingerbread man. He's here somewhere underneath all my stuff. I was going to do 3 little gingerbread men across here. And I think I'm going to pop those up too. And then I'm going to do some peppermints, and this one will be done. So let's see. There is a die in the More Than Autumn stamp set or bundle that would cut these out. I just fussy cut them with scissors tonight because I'm lazy and I don't mind cutting. So if they don't all look the same, that's why. And I would put my other little guy right there when I find him. And then some peppermints, and it will be done. I think I want, what do I want? I don't want them to be all in a, something like that. Let's see. Let's do a big one here. And a medium one up here. And we'll do another medium one. Down there maybe. I feel like one could very easily go on that tag. Oh, it just occurred to me. I was going to sponge the edges of that red, but... See? Do you remember what I just said about I get going too quick and then I start to... Things start to happen. As evidenced by me just knocking that thing off my table. But imagine there's one more little gingerbread man right there. And here's another quick sample showing a colored gingerbread house. Thanks, Peggy. So that's what I have for you tonight, this one. So I'm both cards work with the same color palette. The reds, real red, and pecan pie. But we've got kind of different looks there between them. So again, a really versatile set. Okay, I'm going to rotate the camera again. Here comes that spin. And I'll turn you up. There we go. Oh, the whole turning it back up thing is a problem, but here we are. So that's what I have for you tonight, the Humble Home stamp set. That is going to be featured in one of my to-go packs for, it's not the one that you have to order by the middle of October. It's the one that you order by the middle of November to receive it on December 1st. So there'll be details about that later, but keep that in the back of your mind. A very versatile stamp set. Super fun, I think, again, for Christmas or other occasions. There you have it. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you guys spending part of your evening with me. Thanks, Judy and Kim and Donna. And you're welcome, Peggy. Y'all have a wonderful week. And I will see you. Oh, so next Monday, I mentioned I have a crazy busy end of September. In all honesty, I don't know that I'm going to pull together a project for next Monday. I will try. But if I don't have something new to make in front of you next Monday, I will for sure have those swaps that I get this weekend, the things that I make this weekend that other demonstrators designed. So if nothing else, I'll have those to share with you next Monday. And then the following Monday, what would that be? The 30th, No live that night. I will be away from the house, so no live on the 30th. But I hope you have a great week. Check back in with me next Monday for another Make It or maybe Share It live. Have a good night.